Hello, I'm Isabella Rush, and I'm here to show you and explain to you why due process and legal representation for those who are accused of crimes is so important. There are many examples that illustrate the importance of this both in real life and in Hollywood. One of the timeless classic examples is from the story To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. In 1962, a film version of the classic story was produced. I am going to be showing a clip from this movie and breaking it down and explaining it to you. The two men you see here are Atticus Finch and Tom Robinson. Tom Robinson is a 25-year-old black man who lives in the Jim Crow South. He is an overall respected man in his community, and most people that know him would say that he is a hardworking family man. The white man that you see sitting next to him would be Atticus Finch. He's a well-respected attorney in the community who is here today to defend Mr. Robinson in court. Mr. Robinson has been accused of violently raping a young white woman named Mayella Awell.
To begin with, this case should never have come to trial. The state has not produced one iota of medical evidence that the crime Tom Robinson is charged with ever took place. It has relied instead upon the testimony of two witnesses.
The two witnesses Mr. Finch is referring to are Sheriff Tate and Bob Awell. Sheriff Tate was the one who arrived to the scene and had claimed to see Mayella with bruises and injuries on her arms and legs. Bob Awell is Mayella's father,
whose evidence has not only been called into serious question on cross-examination, but has been flatly contradicted by the defendant. Now, there is circumstantial evidence to indicate that Mayella Ewell was beaten savagely by someone who led almost exclusively with his left. And Tom Robinson now sits before you, having taken the oath with the only good hand he possesses, his right. I have nothing but pity in my heart for the chief witness for the state.
Bob, Mayella's father, was regularly abusive towards her. As a result of her father's abuse and her mother's passing, this led her to be mostly responsible for her younger siblings. Therefore, Atticus Finch is expressing his pity towards her, but then he goes on to say that he does not have enough pity to let her charge an innocent man of a crime.
She is the victim of cruel poverty and ignorance. But my pity does not extend so far as to her putting a man's life at stake, which she has done in an effort to get rid of her own guilt. Now I say guilt, gentlemen, because it was guilt that motivated her. She's committed no crime. She has merely broken a rigid and time-honored code of our society. A code so severe that whoever breaks it is hounded from our midst, is unfit to live with. She must destroy the evidence of her offense. But what was the evidence of her offense? Tom Robinson.
As you can see, Tom Robinson has all of the cards stacked against him. He is an African-American man of little education making his way in a racist culture. Atticus is expressing how Tom would of course be Mayella's target, especially if she was the one who made the advancements, which she was.
A human being. She must put Tom Robinson away from her. Tom Robinson was to her a daily reminder of what she did. Now, what did she do? She tempted a Negro. She was white, and she tempted a Negro. She did something that in our society is unspeakable. She kissed a black man, not an old uncle, but a strong, young Negro man. No code mattered to her before she broke it, but it came crashing down on her afterwards. The witnesses for the state, with the exception of the sheriff of Macon County, have presented themselves to you gentlemen, to this court, in the cynical confidence that their testimony would not be doubted. Confident that you gentlemen would go along with them on the assumption, the evil assumption, that all Negroes lie, all Negroes are basically immoral beings.
Here, we can see him talking about the point that I would really like to bring to light. All of the assertions of the witnesses play into the prevailing prejudices that are pervasive in the South at this time. Atticus is illustrating how this is a cynical ploy to play into such prejudices.
All Negroes are basically immoral beings. All Negro men are not to be trusted around our women. An assumption that one associates with minds of their caliber, and which is in itself, gentlemen, a lie, which I do not need to point out to you. And so, a quiet, humble, respectable Negro who has had the unmitigated temerity to feel sorry for a white woman has had to put his word against two white peoples. The defendant is not guilty.
Atticus is talking about how because of Tom's involvement in Mayel's life, he could have easily been taken advantage of. And regardless, he is sitting here in front of a white jury and white witnesses trying to prove himself innocent. Atticus also makes the point of the advantages that Ewell family has over Tom, solely because of his skin color, in his life and in this trial.
But somebody in this courtroom is. Now, gentlemen, in this country, our courts are the great levelers. In our courts, all men are created equal. I'm no idealist to believe firmly in the integrity of our courts and of our jury system. That's no ideal to me. That is a living, working reality. Now, I am confident that you gentlemen will review without passion the evidence that you have heard, come to a decision, and restore this man to his family. In the name of God, do your duty. In the name of God, believe Tom Robinson.
This man was up against the entire power and force of the state and racist notions of the time. Within all of this, he only had one person speaking on his behalf. It was incumbent upon that one person to defend Tom with all he could muster and all his intellect and hard work, to assure that Tom received his optimal opportunity for justice. Regardless of the circumstances, this is just a small example of the importance of due process in our judicial system. It is so vital to every single person who lives in this country to have a voice. That is one of the ideas that we take so much pride in. Freedom and freedom of speech. The right to a speedy trial, and most importantly, the right to have a lawyer. Note this as well. By having these rights, we compel the state to behave with fairness and justice in mind. This is specifically important to me because throughout working on this project, I've been able to see the real impact that justice can have on real people who live in my state and in my county. I would like to be a part of that more than anything, and it would bring me great honor to help people find their path again and protect them against any injustice.